funny to me that people will try games that they have no knowledge of whatsoever. The thing is, you could stumble upon a hidden gem, and that is always a welcome surprise. Or you could bump into what I shall be covering today, a terrible game that should not exist and shouldn't be seen as a worthwhile investment of your hard-earned cash. What is the name of the game that's earned this reputation today? A game titled The Mission, a PS1 game only released in Europe in the year 2000. Before we rip this game a new one, I have brought along a guest who was a bit more determined to see more of the game than myself. She's also a really cool content creator and a video gamer as well. With that, I introduce Azalea22.
Thanks, Affro! And hi guys! I am Azalea22. I've loved gaming my whole life, and it's so awesome to be here right now covering this sports game. Or is it a robbery game? Either way, go ahead, Affro, and take it away with the strange game, The Mission. Know how much you adore it, Affro.
Very funny, Azalea. That's a good one. Alright folks, put those seatbelts on. This is going to be a car crash of a game. Otherwise, welcome back to Affro's Curiosities, and this is The Mission. The Mission. What is this game? Well, it's a European football puzzle game released in 2000. It was published by Microids and developed by GRG. GRG seemed to have a short life as a developer, as their list of developed games is more barren than my 10-year-old biscuit bin. The publisher, however, would go on to develop several successful games, such as the Siberia series. Weird how they got involved in this project considering how well they did afterwards. Oh, and apparently this idea was based off a TV advert by Nike, which, if that is true, well, I think that was a ridiculous decision. I could find no professional reviews of the game, only a few user reviews which all ridiculed the game, and well, me and Azalea were interested in answering a very simple question. Is this innocent PS1 game really that bad? It's time to find out.
To start off, there's this vehicle that drives in, leaving a first impression of being some kind of espionage type game. Now the question is, who is in this vehicle? Lo and behold, the characters are actually athletes. What in the world are athletes doing in an espionage type game? They look to be on some kind of robbery mission, so they really must not be getting paid well. And then there's this mysterious figure of someone at the very top of the building, seems to be awaiting your arrival. Who is this guy? It's gotta be the evil coach that paid them horribly, right? The game starts, and the mission is to obtain an item called the Geomerlin, which is basically just a ball. Yeah. All this over a ball. And some anonymous secret people who just use the term "we" seem to be helping, or maybe instigating all this. Or are they the real bad guys? Or am I playing as the bad guy? Too many unanswered questions. Woo! So the glorious start to the game. We have the wonderful Henry and Figaro here. And oh looky, here is a pair of free goggles. Somehow, someone mysteriously placed right next to these. What are they? Lasers? We have the amazingly determined Henry here. Will the lasers beat him? Ha! Of course not! Now we have a timer start out of nowhere. And it doesn't matter if you touch the lasers beforehand or not. They auto-start regardless. Kick that ball, Henry! Ah, weak. That's weak. These guys are supposed to be athletes. Just look at these amazing skills. Now I know why they resorted to burglary. So yeah, the controls to this game are not that friendly. And the targeting system is also a pain to get. Kicking this ball just right at that alarm shouldn't be too tough for a football soccer player, right? Wrong! You have 3 different kicks you can do with 3 different buttons. Not only do you need to figure out the correct kick, you need to have the correct angle, distance, and you need to press up to give them the boost they need to kick it well. While going through the game a second time, I completely forgot what I pressed that made the ball hit that alarm panel. It's so cumbersome that I had to fiddle around with it a bunch before I truly figured it out again. These guys were so fired from their teams, weren't they? Well, let's see if Figaro and Thor can do any better this time. Ah, yes! Thor takes it away this time. Of course he does. He has more force. The force is with him, guys.
Level 2 then comes up, and in a basic sense, all you have to do is defeat these ninja dudes. Wait, ninjas against footballers? I'm sorry, who approved this again? Oh wait! Anyway, you have to defeat these ninjas and proceed to the next force field until the game lets you pass. If you try to pass without defeating the ninjas, the game will stop you, so yes, you have no choice. Well, if I did, I'd rather use water than a football. This level is a complete mess and it feels like it takes forever to complete. Oh, you're still confused? Okay, allow me to explain. The controls suck! The controls suck! It's too twitchy, and should you aim at these freaks, you end up getting hit by them and falling over. Then they try to take the ball away from you, which is when you have to slide tackle. Good luck hitting them, you miss half the time. And when you do get the ball back, getting any distance to shoot at them is a pain. The gauge at the bottom charges too slowly, and guess what? When you do decide to shoot, the lock-on won't always hit its target. Yes, doing this and constantly repeating it gets very tiresome very quickly. Oh, and to make your life even better, sometimes you'll end up switching to the other player without any warning, which makes the game even more fun. Oh wait, sorry, wrong game. This one just wants to make you throw a brick at the TV. This is an absolutely tedious level. This level is absolutely tedious. It is so dull and boring, I'd rather watch a man eat a ham sandwich in front of me. For hours. Is the game over yet? Okay, we got to the end. Gods, it's finally over. That felt like 100 years to complete. The question is, what's next?
Ah, the wonderful level 3. This is where the fun truly begins, folks. Not only do you have to kick the ball at these mirrors with the correct angle and distance, but you have to kill these ninjas. And guys, these are not your average ninja. Somehow, they can magically use telekinesis or some kind of force to bring the ball to them. They are basically Jedi ninjas. And wow, that sounds cool. To add to the fun, you can't dash under the electric currents without getting stunned. And boy, is it fun when the enemy just wants to hang around right at that beam where it's hard to attack him. Okay, proceeding forward. Wait, what? Why won't this beam go away and let me proceed? Oh, now after the guy's gone it lets me. Phew, now I can go forward. Now another guy spawns right at my location. Okay, so just get rid of this guy now. Easy. And oh my god. Now for some reason, the previous enemy that you already killed respawns all over again at the previous spawn location. Oh, you get just a hair too close to that area and the cycle repeats itself all over again.
Right. In this level, you have to fight a boss for the first time, and yeah, more of this gameplay bollocks. Basically, you have to use these mirrors to activate a laser, and then you angle those lasers towards the boss to cause him damage. Sadly, he can do the same to you. I was so confused when I first started the stage of what to do, since nothing gave me a hint or an out on how to beat the stage, just all the complete guessing game of who will die first. And I nearly did, until by a miracle I just decided to shoot one of the mirrors and it worked! The boss then and there decided he had enough of me and kept running into the beam over and over, even though it was nowhere near him. But when the beam finished, I kicked the other side and the same thing happened. He clearly wanted to die because he knew my skills were always going to prevail and destroy his little ass. Honestly, this level sums up the game for me. It was made by people who didn't care, didn't bug test their game, and wanted us to hate and despise this garbage. You know something? I do wonder if the next boss is just like this one.
Oh, an easy one now maybe. You have this small room with just some Jedi ninjas you need to dodge and defeat. Seems simple enough. Oh, and look! A power-up, how nice. Surprise! You're now trapped. Gotta love how they just bait you with that item. You have 2 green square areas on the floor that will trap your character. Walk right over these, and boom! That character can no longer move or be controlled by you. And to make it even more sweet, if both characters get trapped, it is game over, man. But as long as you can power kick that ball at the trapped character, you are able to free him from the glorious green square of doom. Thankfully, this game doesn't let the ball hurt your other character in the process. And wow, I cannot stand the enemy's victory dance.
Oh, I hate this level! It's similar to level 2, if you can remember that far back. But you have to watch out for the green squares that will trap your player, and if you both get trapped, then you lose! Yay! No. In this one, you have to keep beating the ninjas until the lasers blocking you weaken, which is shown on the left hand side, gradually getting smaller. Once it is small enough, you can shoot it to break it. Too bad I had no idea, and once again I had to take a wild guess. Game developers, making me take wild guesses without any suitable hints or clues isn't good game design. It only makes me feel bored, hopeless, and wondering why my life choices didn't make me any richer. Thankfully, if one player gets trapped, you can shoot the green box to free them, so I suppose that's good. Too bad all the problems mentioned before only help to make the level drag on and on and on and on and on. It's really evident here in this part, right at the end when the ninjas just keep coming and coming and coming. And just when you think it's over, no! Another one pops out and makes you really want to turn this crap off. Why did they make us suffer even more for trying to play? Don't they want people to like the game? They failed big time there. It took me 7 minutes to finish this part, but it felt like 30 minutes. That's how boring this whole experience was. I can say without doubt, this is the most boring game I've ever played, and that is saying a lot. Just a quick note folks, I couldn't get past this part despite trying for a full 15 minutes. Azalea however managed it, and well, kudos to her, she is braver than me at this. So let her take away the rest of the segment.
Right off the bat, you are greeted by just one single enemy here. Is this game actually trying to be kind for once? What the? I can target a panel here. But no matter what angle I kick the ball at it, nothing happens anyway. After many attempts at trying to figure out this level, it finally lets you pass after a strong kick to this, whatever this is. Some invisible field. And now basically you have to repeat the same thing onward, except now some Jedi ninjas are thrown into the mix. And oh my god. Did these guys just get stuck in this spot? The whole time, these guys have been able to jump, but it hasn't been a necessary action for anything yet. It seems the jump movement was only put in for this very moment. Somehow, someway, my alternating ball kicks at the enemy, panel, and invisible field managed to eventually work after a bunch of random interactions. And truly, this winded up being the most odd and confusing level, at least for me. Here we have the wonderful level 8 boss battle. You now have to take on this boss Jedi Ninja guy. Not only do you have to keep off the continuing respawn of enemies, but you have to watch out for, once again, the lovely green entrapment squares. Yeah, guys, that's not how you do it. No, not again! Be free! And oh my goodness, can this guy shoot his beams far. What the heck? I literally do not have a chance to move from this attack. Wow. Okay guys, he actually gave me a break. Luck has been bestowed upon me. After some alternating damage to the boss while fending off the Ninja Jedi, this one actually didn't seem so bad. But keep in mind, that's comparing it against all of the previous levels thus far. Now, for the first time in the game, it wants you to interact with statues. Just need to turn the statue around by, well, kicking the ball, of course. These guys must have forgotten how to use their hands, seriously. And I really have no clue what some of these power-ups do either. Then some random praying ninja guy appears in the middle of this fire area. He must really love that heat, and it looks as though Thor is starting to lose it here. Maybe he's the opposite and can't stand the heat. Perhaps this is why. In order to progress, you have to continue meddling back and forth between the statues and enemies until the fire won't pop up and burn you anymore. And then you can finally move on and be done with these shenanigans. The furthest level I've gotten to. Let's see how fun this one is. You're greeted by two ninja Jedis who happen to be very laser trigger happy. But hey, if I had the ability to shoot out cool beams, I'd probably be just as trigger happy. Oh, and apparently your character can glitch fly. Guess the enemy also wants to join in on the fun flying. And here is another wonderful glitch. You have one character that is somehow magically downsized. Is he really that bad financially where he needs to downsize? Anyway, you are not able to attack with the downsized glitch character at all. Finally, after that fun's over, you now have to turn this single statue to face the other one. Okay, that should be a cakewalk. Just turn it around. But these controls make it to be a cake-tastrophe of a walk. I kick the ball at it, hoping it'll turn the way I want it to, but sometimes it just doesn't do that. After meddling around a while, I realize that it's best to just stay still, like a statue, and continue kicking the ball at this statue. Woo! Glad that's done. Now we can finally move forward. Two more ninja guys decide to show up, and now for the part that got me. We have these powerful Jedi ninjas combined with this laser thing that keeps moving forward. But the bigger annoyance is all these treadmill conveyor belts. Stay away from them. They really hinder your movement and make it challenging to dodge these Jedi blasts. And therefore, goes the end of the progress.
If you hadn't figured it out already, it sucks and it is so boring. I never imagined I could be so bored playing a video game, but this game takes first prize in that department. It's also flawed in the controls, has terrible and complicated level design, boring and miserable fights, awful lock-on system, useless AI, a problematic switching system, a terrible premise for these footballers being in this situation in the first place, questionable boss fights, a terrible camera, and the dullest gameplay ever devised by mortal man. I'm sure that explains everything I have to say for this sorry mess of a game, and I never ever want to play this game ever again.
Ultimately, this game is glitchy, has wonky controls and camera. It doesn't seem to make much sense either, having to go through so much trouble to rob a ball. What is so special about this ball anyway? Did someone super amazing autograph their signature on it? I don't know. I also find it hilarious how you can just dash attack the enemies. Is that a thing some athletes do to the people they aren't fond of? But regardless of all these flaws and nonsense, or maybe because of all these flaws, I actually found this game to be strangely addictive.
I do have to wonder what goes through a dev team's mind when they ultimately greenlight a project, because this one should have not gone through. it is just a doomed game from the start. They already chose a terrible idea, but to add on that, just about everything that could go wrong did go very, very wrong. I will never understand how they didn't feel the same way when they were testing it. Unless they didn't test it and thought it was magnificent, I'll never know the true answer, but at least me and Azalea know the truth. This is one of the worst PlayStation games ever and is on the same level as Tunguska. It's that bad, folks. Speaking of Azalea, thank you for being my guest in this episode and for suffering even more than me to see more of what this game had to offer for those who got further in. Also, she runs a fantastic YouTube channel where she makes funny Let's Plays and compilation videos. Check her out and have a great time. Make sure you tell her Affro Show sent you there.
Thank you for having me join you in this awesome and one-of-a-kind gaming experience. It was a lot of fun and some crazy thrown in there. And also, thank you guys so much for watching, and you can check out my variety gaming channel, Azalea22, in the description below, or in this cute little link here. If you like what you see, feel free to subscribe and be a part of the fun community.
Absolutely, and Azalea, thank you once again for being a part of this video. Otherwise, folks, let us know what you think of this game and if you would try it out, or if you think it's just as bad as me and Azalea described it to you. Until then, from myself and Azalea22, we will see you in our next videos.